know
I
what?
would love them to, but they.
That's fair. We gonna play it for right here. Fuck it.
That's dope right there.
But
You heard? He put it
Kendrick
on.
understood the assignment.
Yeah,
That's
he
all I'm
did.
saying.
He did. He did.
Bro,
I'm not mad.
I'm not the vibe.
I'm
We
not
ain't
mad.
pulling. We can go
I'm not
anywhere
mad.
in New York right now. They ain't playing. I would love them to, but they.
What's going on YouTube? We in hip hop. You know, ain't gonna go in the club and hear my shit. You know, they agreed on a lot going back. Even though Kendrick saying, oh, I ain't hear that. Even Drake wanted that.
The battle between Drake and Kendrick, and I'm talking about not from the commercial and media side. I'm talking about from the rap side.
I ain't gonna lie. I think Kendrick got the best of me. I do. My favorite of the battle was that one Drake shit though was definitely my favorite of the battle. But just all things in its totality, it was like.
Yeah, all things in totality, but
I
like
wish
you,
I could have hit Drake. I wish I could. I like, man, nigga, what the fuck is you doing, bro? Step. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I'm still.
So in this conversation right here, right? Always think about who's saying what. So what Conway getting ready to say after this gives what he's saying a lot of context. So what I noticed was, and again, you're entitled to your own opinion and whatnot, right? But so for example, right, he's going to admit that I'm not the kind of person that people are playing in the club. And the thing is, being as though Jim has had a lot of success with having those kind of records. Now, yeah, Jim has passed his, I guess, his prime in terms of being younger and whatnot. But Jim always had the ear for good music, and he actually was able to make, to me, a lot of really good joints. That one might have been for a super long time, but think about from '02, to 2010, they did, put out a lot of good records between the whole Dipset, right? But what Jim is speaking to, it's like this whole thing of, again, people treating Kendrick like he's a Make-A-Wish Foundation type nigga, where it's like this is his dream, this is his one dream as a little kid to finally be better than Drake. You know what I'm
Right
saying?
man
Relax.
is more intelligent than 3 women with PhDs.
Thank you so much. You're not getting it. It's not clocking
Not
to
clocking
you.
to you.
It's not clocking to you that I'm standing on business, is it?
not.
You're not getting it.
Is it clocking to you? Jim, you can see with his face, he's like, all right, nigga, can we have a real conversation? Because there's this thing where you have to have the same answer that everyone else has. And what that answer has come to be what it is based on the bullying. And it was also like people, it was just the narrative. And this is why the investigation with the payola, with the radio station and Ebro in the morning, them niggas definitely took money. All them podcasts took money one way or the other. Matter of fact, mad channels took money and got whitelisted to use that song or be able to use that song without getting flagged and being able to play it in a video. That's paying. That's promotion. If people spoke positively about that song, they got paid for it. So if me and you was battling and I'm dissing you, and I have several media outlets or several big platforms who are paid to speak positively about my record, how would that not help me? That is huge for the battle. And when people talk about this shit, the nigga just said my favorite joint for the battle was from Drake. But I thought, but what it was is, and I'm gonna tell you where he's coming from. The perspective he's coming from is that whack hip hop won today. We need whack hip hop or hip hop that's not that appealing to win, rather than you creating your own heat. And I think all those brothers are talented. I think Conway's talented too. I like his raps and everything. But nigga, like that's on you. That you're not able to compete because it's about competition. That's that. I'm not saying he a loser, but that's a loser mindset when your mind doesn't go to, all right, well, how can I make some shit that's so hot that it is able to compete? Because the thing is, I think when these niggas put their style together, being as though when y'all niggas are developing your sounds, and this is how someone like Conway developed his sound. You focused on rapping about one particular thing and rapping one kind of way, rather than finding your bag over all kind of beats. Yo, when you an MC, you're supposed to be able to rap over everything. It doesn't matter what it is, because it's about finding the pocket, the tone, the subject matter, and everything, right? But what Jim Jones is speaking to is the actual business and despite if he does everything perfect and whatnot, the rumors, certain rumors are true about his business acumen. It take bread to show up with new jewelry on all the time. It take bread to show up with new clothes on. You know what I mean, and looking well groomed. So obviously, you know what I mean, he ain't missing no meals, and he's doing well. So Jim has always had a little more of a business mind, and I think it's dope seeing him getting the content. I think he's good online. I think Jim has also managed to stay, and someone else is making this point too about how damn throughout all this time, Jim has managed to still stay relevant, and we're still talking about Jim Jones and still seeing Jim Jones. I mean, really the whole Dipset, or just him and Cameron in particular, we're still seeing these niggas in one way or the other, and I think that again when niggas open their minds up to look at music differently in terms of, all right, well, I don't have to keep reliving the same success over and over and over again. And also, too, we got to also always respect someone's past success because Jim's success in music was monumental. Like, as an independent artist, he did do a lot of really cool things. Also, Jim held different executive positions. He helped start Love and Hip Hop. Just all these different things, and always has been a genius. He also was the architect, over at Dipset. He was doing the engineering. He's helping with doing the videos. He did videos for state property, all that shit. I remember, I never forget, they was on Smack DVD, and Jewels made a point. They was in the studio, and Jim Jones was fucking with the mixing board. And I don't know if he knew what he was doing, but I'm gonna trust that he knew what he was doing because I believe in Jim Jones. And he said, he said proudly, he know how to use all this shit. He know how all this shit work. And I was so impressed by that because that showed intelligence. It showed a different way of looking at how to be productive, how to add, basically how to add value. And in him doing that, he's managed to be able to take care of himself to this day. But anyway, get back to what Jim is speaking to. What Jim is speaking to is, okay, let's get to reality about what's most important. What's most important is the music that actually moves people.
Dangerous, bro.
Kendrick is dangerous, but I think that the way everything happened was whatever. I just wanted to ask you that question just because.
Man, Kendrick stepped, bro. Kendrick stepped
I take
on
nothing
shit,
away
bro.
from him, but
Drake was stepping too, but I feel like
Drake is a stepper, man.
I wish I was with Drake, bro.
I can't say.
I would have never.
I can't.
I'm trying to get the party lit. Nah, nigga, I'm stepping.
I
I ain't trying to get the party
would
lit.
say
I'm
this.
stepping.
That battle has put a dent in the hip hop pop culture. I would say. Because
we ain't seen a battle on a mainstream level like that probably ever.
okay, so people on the media got what they always want was two powerful people going up against each other, and somebody got to be the winner, somebody got to be the loser. Now the aftershock of that is now none of these dudes that were battling are putting out any music right now. We haven't heard no music from none of them in how long? And this is the music that we've really been listening to for the past 10 years straight, which Drake had the tempo of this motherfucker knocking, and there's a lot of that missing and shit like that from.
I ain't gonna. I need some more Drake music.
All right, stop. This is what the fuck I'm talking about. Again, you gotta think about who's saying what. And again, everyone got a part to play. I think Conway is great. We in the era we always gotta say like some like very positive things before you how can I say keep it real. But at the end of the day, a lot of artists, the way they create is they do what's accessible to them. They do what they think is accessible. Like I always felt like when me and my boy had this argument about the Clips album, I'm not saying I think it's whack or it's ass. I just pardon me. I wasn't super interested in hearing it because it sounded very much like 2010s. It just doesn't really have the same space. It doesn't really fit to me in terms of like, it's not a efficient music because it doesn't have a place. I don't feel like I don't want to hear this in the gym. I don't want to hear this when I'm driving. I don't want to hear this around a girl. I'm not thinking about this song when I turn it off, right? Because they're not really songs. It's these niggas rapping over like the best production ever, which also sounds kind of dated. But most importantly, when he hears that music, my homeboy, a part of it is, you rap, right? In your mind, you think in your mind, I could make something like that, or I could do that, sort of. You know what I mean? Or you think, you can make something like that. And what it is that let's say the clips in particular. The clips, everything has to like happen perfectly for a clip song to be a good clip song because they're not good with like not that good with song structure like that. Like I think they've gotten better over time. But not only that, there's not much of a difference for like how they rap in 2025 and how they rap in 2002. Like that's not like I couldn't really say if you turned the beat off, I will be able to clearly tell. All right, this is 2025 Pusha T. I mean, I think I could tell, but it wouldn't be super clear. Versus 2000 Hove would sound totally different from 2025 Hove if we turn the beat off. The way Hove was rapping on Ape Shit is way different from Izzo. You know what I'm saying? Even the things he's saying, right? How Hove was rapping on Kingdom Come is way different from Big Pimpin', even with everything he's saying. The way people respond to the Kendrick battle, again, what it was about was that, well, listen, lame music can win too. A nigga that's not good at making those kind of songs, he can win too. It don't just gotta be the songs that niggas like. I mean, and again, when y'all niggas act like that, y'all are the same as the friend who's kind of attractive who wants you to date her ugly friend, all right, or date her unattractive friend, or try to call you superficial because you don't want to date her unattractive friend. It's very weird, super weird. I never forget when I was in high school. This shit so long ago, I could like, I'm getting to the age where I could not like clearly remember things that happened from long ago. But I remember, I think she was like writing me notes and letters and whatnot. And I mean, I already knew that. I'm like, this is not gonna be no attractive girl. I was just hoping that, well, maybe she'll be attractive enough. And again, she seemed like someone who probably grew into like a very cute girl. But at the time, like, she wasn't like done blossoming yet, because for the most part, women don't really get to see their potential until they have money, right? And they get to be, they get a little of that grown woman weight on them and stuff like that. Everyone's time is not in high school. I wonder how she's doing though. But no, she was a very nice girl. But I forgot what I said to her friend, but I think she called me superficial for some reason, and like it was just weird. I'm thinking like, a lot of guys don't realize women be playing attorney for their friends. Like cause she spoke up as if she was the actual defense attorney, and basically her whole point was like, basically you should want what's on the inside. I mean, I believe that right there. So I'm gonna play a little more of this clip, then we're gonna move on to something else.
Trying to say you
That
did.
nigga, man. That's what I'm saying. I wasn't.
So you gotta watch. This
Like,
I know, bro, but this is what
crime in the locker room.
this is where we at. Society got what they want, and this is where we at. We had a dry spell right now. You heard?
Kendrick understood the assignment.
Yeah,
That's all
he
I'm
did.
saying.
He did.
Bro.
But Kendrick
that
was,
Super Bowl.
but yeah, that's cool.
All of that shit, bro.
But now when we go outside, there's no vibe. Kendrick never provided the vibe inside the spots that we at every night.
Yeah, bro.
He put that perfectly. And again, a lot of artists do not want to deal with the reality of what the standard is. Shout out to the Angry Man. The standard is the standard. You need records that go off in the club or something that niggas can play in the club. It don't gotta be a girl record. Trap music has proven that. Like, yo, when I got some trap beats, I said, oh shit, okay. This is a way into making a club record without making a club record. It's about making music niggas can move to, that niggas can live to, shit that sound fly. And you have to tap into that part of yourself. You have to have all of that. And you have to find your way into that. I'm saying you got time. I don't know if it's a confidence thing or not, but you have niggas that's in this lane, right? Where all they can do is make like dirty nigga music. Or like niggas, like it's music for niggas that ride the bus. It's not for music for niggas who got cars. Cause you don't want to hear this shit in your car, cause they're not really songs, or they don't, because a lot of niggas don't really make records that have a strong like musical structure and song structure, and different things happen, and they do different tones and different flows and rap about different things, and it's like, yo, even what you choose to rap about is also important when it comes to music in general. But there's this has been the conversation right here where you hear multiple things at one time. What you hear is this huge desire to feel as though there needs to be like this worshiping of Kendrick, you know what I'm saying? And this, let's make sure that we bow our heads and all this type of shit. But again, what it really is just that it's the loser mindset reigning its ugly head. And the loser mindset, you always want the winner to lose because you relate more to losing. You feel more like, why are you always winning? Like why are you doing that? And I'm saying, no, I want you to be on my level. And never forget, people always level set. All right, and a person will always drag you down to their level, which is why it's super important that you cannot be around certain people. Anyway, my bad. I was on out. So Conway gonna make a really important point, I think, and it's really about competition. And if you're watching this video right now, I want you guys to understand that listen, and whatever you're doing, you have to scale whatever you're creating, whatever you're doing, and scale it against the best thing you ever seen. Like, for example, I'm like, you know what? Fuck that. Like in 2026, I'm going to be more committed to getting in the best shape I've ever got into and sacrificing more. You know what I mean? And get my mind off of this certain behaviors and whatnot. Like today, I was in the gym over there in South Orange and whatnot. I said, yo, fuck, I'm gonna go after work and I'm gonna get a little chest workout and whatnot, right? It was a guy and that nigga was jacked. Low ass body fat, jacked, right? And I'm like, yo, in this moment I'm thinking, all right, as I'm thinking about the body that I want to have, I need to be scaling my body against someone who's in amazing shape and say, all right, how close can I get to that? And what's the steps to get to that? A lot of people do not want to create in that way. They don't want to move in that way because it's too much responsibility. All right, and it gets them out their comfort zone. Both y'all saying that y'all ain't the vibe. That's both y'all giving up. Because both y'all make music. I mean, so I'm like, yo, on some level, we got to talk about why aren't you're not even trying to compete with whatever the vibe is. And this goes again to just men's low standards. A lot of us are not taking that spiritual journey.
He does what he does for the hip hop culture, and yes, he's a god, and nobody could fuck with him on the level of rap. That's what they was going Drake back and forth. But he ain't the guy that provides the vibe that we go outside to. Now, put the guy that provides the vibe that we go outside to, and he decides to stay inside. No. And he's so rich. And he don't have to come outside ever again and just look and laugh at the game because he's up a billion.
If you can talk about my career, then I could talk about your life.
Who's the next person that's going to come provide the vibe?
We'll never get another person
This is what I'm trying to say, bro.
He's that.
You heard?
Yeah, he had.
Like you hear this shit? So you can't in one breath admit that someone is this important. Because you got to realize that people made the battle about so many different things, but at the end of the day, what it was about was like, yo, you want to see the top guy lose. And a lot of men maybe won't understand that shit because you don't really pursue glory. Like, you're not really in competition. If you never done anything where there has to be a winner and a loser, I think it's important. I don't care if you want to play chess. You need to be doing things where there's a winner and a loser so you can experience definitive loss, definitive wins in life. I don't care if you want to get into a bowling league. Do something because it helps you to understand where you're going, understand trends, and because it makes you think. Because you learn the most from experiences where you thought you were going to win and you didn't win. One of the most transformative things I've done in life is battle, which I really am glad I had the opportunity to experience that, and it's been a really cool hobby and everything, and it really helped me develop and be around a lot of cool people and be on all these different platforms and whatnot, and just develop just as an entertainer, and but what that's done for me is helped me develop my my personality, my whole concept of entertainment, how I express myself, how I my understanding of body movement. You know what I mean? You see me move my hips around and my shoulders and shit. You know what I mean? And, yeah, hella animated. So anyway, I thought this was a really cool clip. But overall, man, you have to have a competitive mindset, and what that means is that whatever you think the best is, let's say when it comes to a car, All right, what do you think is a really nice car? All right, where's the car that you can afford? You want to get like where's the scale? All right, well, what do you need to do to be able to afford the car that you really want? What do you need to do to be able to afford the woman that you really want? What do you need to do to get the body you really want? What do you need to do to become who you need to be, the best version of yourself? All right, because again, what I hear when I hear this conversation is, especially when he says, I ain't the vibe, you ain't the vibe. All right, so why are y'all supporting a nigga that's not the vibe? A part of this shit too is that's Randall's ugly head is losers always try to undermine hierarchy. So don't get me wrong, they're acknowledging hierarchy, but the battle was also about pretty much about how black culture does not respect hierarchy amongst black men. Because anyone could at a glance look and see who's at the very top of the game, who's the top dog. You know what I mean? But we always do this shit amongst black men where it's like, all right, well, no matter what, we always want to bring you down to, all right, well, you just a nigga. It doesn't matter what you did yesterday. It doesn't matter what your contributions are, who you helped, right? What you've been doing for the game musically. We gonna bring you down to whoever's at the motherfucking bottom. A nigga the other day argued with me because he wanted to say that basically he was comparing Fonte from Little Brother to Drake. And I'm like, bro, that's that loser mindset. Little Brother was never successful. Little Brother are two brothers who could rap, and I'm not saying they can't. I like Little Brother. But comparing an unsuccessful group to Drake is crazy. Cause niggas, all right, broke niggas have this thing where they even want to hear loser music. They even want to hear music from an artist who's unsuccessful. Let that shit sink in. You want to hear music from a nigga who don't make good songs. Cause that's what a lot of you boom bap niggas are. Y'all are genre niggas who specifically conscious niggas too, and that's why they call y'all conscious and boom bap. I mean, they had to label y'all so okay, the music ain't gonna be so good over there. Rather than just saying it's hip hop. When shit is lit, it's hip hop, it's rap. It gets to just be rap. You don't have to put a label on it. It's just good. Like with Drake, it's just good. There's no label on it. For J. Cole, it's just good. For Wale, it's just good. Young Boy is just, well, I guess they call that drill. Young Boy is just good. You understand? All right. Yeah, took a quick break. Oh, all right, cool. Whatever. All right, so let's go ahead and finish out with this Cardi shit. I get to other stuff some other time. So let's go ahead and check Cardi.